Once upon a time, across the endless golden sands of the desert, there lived a wise and patient Arab merchant named Hamid. Every year, he journeyed with his caravan across the dunes, carrying precious spices, silks, and dates. With him traveled a large camel, strong and reliable but clever in ways that could sometimes turn troublesome. One winter night, after a long day's march, Hamid pitched his small canvas tent on a patch of firm ground. The wind howled and rattled the pegs. As the fire dwindled to embers, Hamid pulled his woolen cloak tightly around his shoulders and prepared to sleep. Outside, the cold grew bitter. The camel shifted and groaned, lifting its long neck toward the narrow slit of the tent's entrance. "My master," the camel called in a soft, pleading voice. "The night is freezing, and the wind cuts through my fur. Might I just put my nose inside the tent to warm it?" Hamid, half asleep, opened his eyes and sighed. The camel had carried his burdens faithfully, and he felt pity. "Very well," he murmured. "You may put your nose inside, but nothing more." The camel thanked him and slipped its nose through the flap. Warm air met cold skin, and it sighed in relief. Minutes passed, and the storm intensified. Sand hissed against the canvas. The camel shifted again. "My master," it pleaded, "the wind bites my ears. May I bring my head inside as well?" Hamid frowned in the darkness. He knew too well how clever the camel could be, but the cold was merciless. "Only your head," he said firmly. The camel slowly pushed its long head through the entrance, stretching out its neck into the warmth. An hour passed. Hamid tried to rest, but the camel soon spoke again, its voice more confident. "Master," it said, "my forelegs are frozen and ache terribly. If you would allow me to place them inside, I could be more comfortable." Hamid sighed. The tent already felt crowded, but he could not bring himself to refuse. "You may put in your forelegs," he agreed reluctantly, and so the camel bent low and eased its front legs inside, its large shoulders pressing against the walls of the tent. Hamid was forced to scoot farther back, nearly into the corner. Still, the storm raged on. The camel stood silently for a while, but then spoke once more. "Master," it said smoothly, "my hindquarters are cold beyond bearing. If I do not warm them, I will surely fall ill. May I bring them in?" Hamid's eyes flew open. The camel now filled half the tent, its bulk crowding out nearly all the space. He knew what would come next. "No," he said sternly. "You must remain as you are. This tent is only large enough for one." But the camel ignored him. With a grunt and a mighty shove, it forced the rest of its body through the opening. The canvas walls groaned as the animal stretched out, filling every corner. Hamid was pressed against the cold fabric, unable to move. "Camel?" he cried. "This is my tent. You have taken advantage of my kindness." The camel turned its long neck and looked back at him calmly. "Master," it said, "if there is no room for both of us, you are free to find shelter elsewhere." And with that, the camel settled in comfortably, its great sides rising and falling with each breath. Shaking his head in disbelief, Hamid crawled out into the freezing desert night. He wrapped his cloak around himself and sat by the dying fire. The stars glimmered above as the wind swept fine sand across his face. Despite the cold, a rueful smile crossed his lips. "Indeed," he murmured, "if you give some creatures an inch, they will take a mile." When dawn came, he packed the tent and loaded his camel, who looked quite content and unbothered by the night's events. From that day on, Hamid never forgot the lesson. Generosity must be tempered with caution, for some will take all you offer and more. Moral: if you allow someone to overstep small boundaries, they may soon overtake everything you have.